So today I am in Stockton. There is the River Tees right next to me, and I'm not too far from the actual high street itself, which is over in that direction. I came today just to have a little look at the development, which is just over there. When I pan and come around, and hopefully you'll be able to see it, not too much glare from the sun. There's like a seating area, concrete seating area over there, and they've got gardens, and sort of further on near the high street they've got like a water park for the kids. They've got like little sprinklers and all that, and slides and swings and the likes, and toilets, and just sort of a bit more greenery for that sort of area. But I'm not going to be talking about that because I've already done a video on Stockton, which I will put at the end of this video, that talks about the history, the beginnings of Stockton, and obviously the decline as well of Stockton. So I will put that at the end. Further down there is the first ticket office ever in the world, I believe, which is in that video, so check that out. But today I'm not going to talk about the decline of Stockton or the developments that are happening today. What I want to talk to you about is the history. I want to show you a little bit more of the history of Stockton from that very first track being laid over there in 1825, and the train line actually sort of went along here back in the day. Obviously it's not there now. But yeah, I wanted to take you and show you a little bit more of the history and a company that's only just over here, over that bridge. So join me as I show you a little bit more of history of Stockton. Let's go. So I'm currently on the Princess of Wales Bridge, and over in the distance there is the Infinity Bridge. But I'm just heading over here, and there's a roundabout that I want to go and have a look at. Now, if you're from the area, you probably already know where I'm heading. But if you're into trains and you don't know the area, then this might be a nice surprise for you. But I want to get over the road here, over this bridge, where it's a bit more quiet, and I'll tell you exactly, I can see it right ahead of me now. But I want to tell you about the history of this part, because over there is Stockton, and this is classed as Thornaby-on-Tees. So as soon as you cross this border of the river itself, Stockton there, Thornaby over here, and the little bit of history is just this way. So as I walk away from Stockton, away from the Princess of Wales Bridge, which is right over there, into Thornaby, I thought I'd tell you a bit about the history of the place that used to be here. Now in 1840, Teesdale Iron Works was formed by Thomas Head and Joseph Wright. Now over the first 17 years of business, the name did change sort of quite a few times to the name that we know of it today, which is Head Wrightson. Now in 1851, Teesside's first ever blast furnace was built here when they found iron in the Cleveland Hills. But in order to get that iron and everything around that particular firm or the works, you need a shunter. And this is what I'm showing you today. This is the coffee pot number 21 shunter, and this is being put here as a mark of respect, and basically just bringing it back, the history back to where it sort of started. The firm was here, the shunter's back where it belongs. It was over another roundabout, it was in Preston Park Museum for a while, but it's been restored, repainted, and it's put on a nice brick plinth right in front of me so everyone can see it, and it kind of brings everything back to where it belongs, as I say. So what I'll show you now is the coffee pot number 21 shunter, and it's right here. If you've driven through Thornaby recently, you might have noticed a new addition, an old friend who's finally come home. This is the Head Wrightson coffee pot number 21. As of March 2026, it is officially back on public display, standing guard over the very ground where it was born more than 150 years ago. For those who don't know the history, this quirky locomotive earned its nickname because of the vertical boiler, which looks like an old-fashioned coffee percolator. It was built in 1870 at the Head Wrightson's Teesdale Iron Works. For nearly a century, it was the shunter of the site, moving materials and keeping the industrial heart of Thornaby beating. When the works eventually closed, the coffee pot became a wandering nomad of northeast heritage. It spent decades on various roundabouts and in museum yards, but for the last few years it was tucked away in a non-public workshop, out of sight and mostly forgotten by thousands of commuters passing by. But as part of the Stockton and Darlington 2000 celebrations marking 200th anniversary of the Stockton and Darlington Railway, Stockton Borough Council decided it was time to bring this piece of steel DNA back into the light. On March 26, 2026, the coffee pot made its final journey. It was lowered onto the brand new 1.5 metre plinth, complete with authentic rails and sleepers, at the junction of Council of Europe Blvd and University Blvd. It's a significant spot. This roundabout sits right within the footprint of the original Head Wrightson site. For the veterans who once worked here, it's a powerful visual link to the past. Local leaders say the engine isn't just a sculpture, it's a sense of place. In a world of modern glass offices and high-tech business parks, this 1870 steam engine serves as a permanent anchor to the region's identity as the cradle of the railways. The coffee pot has finally finished its travels. It's no longer in a workshop or a storage yard. It's back where it belongs, greeting a new generation of Teessiders every single day. Next time you're in Thornaby, give a nod to this little engine that built the town. The coffee pot is home. So that was the other side of the River Tees over in Thornaby and Teesdale, and I wanted to show you that little shunter, that coffee pot number 21 shunter, and where the Head Wrightson's works used to be, or the Teesdale Iron Works used to be, rather than telling you the history of Stockton, which I've already done, and I'll show you a video at the end of this where you can check out the history and the rise and decline of Stockton there. I wanted to come over this side and show you where Head Wrightson's used to be, and that little shunter, that coffee pot number 21 shunter, in its final place, where it should be, where it belongs, back where it started its little journey those years ago in the 1800s. But what I'm going to do now for you is I'm going to go over there into the Stockton High Street. I want to film another little locomotion. It's a kind of a steampunk thing. If you haven't seen it before, I'll show you that. Most people that have been to Stockton will have seen it. At 1 o'clock every single day, this little steampunk locomotion will rise from its little tomb, and it'll blast its horns and its steam and everything. So I wanted to show you that while I'm here, kind of link it in with the 1825 Stockton and Darlington Railway. So I'll go and do that for you now. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this video, hit like, comment below and let me know if you've been to see the Shunter, or if you've been to see the Stockton Flyer, or if you know anybody or you yourself have worked in Head Wrightson's, and let us know any sort of stories regarding that and the things that were built, obviously the bridges and the warships and things. Or if there's anywhere in Thornaby that's got some good history with it that I should go and check out, let me know in the comments. As I say, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'm going to go over there and film that Stockton Flyer for you. So I'll see you in the next video. So take care of yourself and bye-bye. The air in Stockton's High Street carries a certain hum, not just a modern thump of traffic or the ghostly echo of iron on rail. If you're standing by the automaton plinth as a clock strikes the hour, you aren't just looking at a sculpture, you're witnessing a mechanical resurrection. It begins with a low metallic groan, like a giant shaking off a century of sleep. Then, the hiss of steam, white and sharp, cuts through the air. Slowly, the industrial casing begins to rise. This is the Stockton Flyer, an engineering phantom emerging from its glass tomb. As the pistons start their rhythmic dance, you're transported back to September 27th, 1825. This isn't just art, it's a tribute to the moment the world grew smaller. It honours the Stockton and Darlington Railway, the spark that ignited the industrial age and proved that steam could move the masses. Watch the wheels. They don't just spin, they churn with a deliberate, heavy grace. The Flyer doesn't go anywhere in the literal sense, yet it carries the entire weight of Stockton's heritage. The sound, a cacophony of whistles and clanks that mimics the chaotic energy of the 19th century rail yard. The sight, the sunlight glints off the polished metal, a contrast to the grit and coal dust that once defined this town. The spirit, a reminder that this very pavement was once the epicentre of a global revolution. A legacy in motion. It is a mechanical heart beating in the centre of the town, reminding every passerby that greatness was built here, bolt by bolt, rail by rail. As a whistle finally gives one final triumphant blast, the Flyer begins its slow descent back into the ground. The steam clears, the crowds disperse, and the high street returns to its present. But for those few minutes, the railway town lives again, proving that while the engine of the past may be silent, their spirit is still very much in motion. The Stockton Flyer doesn't mark just time, it defines it.
Call it, sir.
Okay.